What's good, Hilux fans? It's been 5 years since I rolled my car, and I am determined to get this thing back on the road. So like, subscribe, and hopefully, in the end, we'll go sideways again together. Hilux LN106 fans, check out this progress. Engine bay painted, loom out of the engine bay. Check out the cab. Loom is totally out of there. That's in a box somewhere in the shed. So now we move on to the main event. We've got to get this motor out of this engine bay so that we can get this loom out. I figure that it's going to be too hard to pull that loom out with the engine in place. So out comes the engine, and then out comes the loom, and then in goes the loom, and in goes the engine. That's how I'm going to do it. All right, I've just pulled out the radiator and using my new label maker. This says Spall fan. I've started making the plan to plug it all back in again and then wash our fluid. As for the radiator, looks pretty straight. I'm not too happy with the color. I'll have to look into painting these radiators without losing performance. And on the back here, it's a very simple shroud, but that shroud really made a huge difference in terms of the cooling power of that fan. That's a Spall fan, and that's the biggest Spall fan from memory, ampage-wise, that they sold. And good news is, it looks like, see how green that is? Green. That it was parked up with coolant in it. I was a bit worried because I was down on my chips when I parked this car up and life was upside down, that I had done something terrible, like just fill it up with water and left it to rust. But no, it's got coolant in it, and hopefully that stopped it from rusting terribly all throughout the car. Yeah. So yeah, good news. Day 2, disconnecting things. We've got this coil pack set of wires here. It went there. That's disconnected. Now we've got a bolt here with a little earth wire on it. We'll get that off. Right, I've got that labelled. And now I might give you the tour of what we're running here. So this funny looking mechanism with the 2 cords coming out of it, that is 2 water lines that go to 2 water to air intercooler plates under this. That's obviously a supercharger. It's got a smaller pulley on it, so it makes more boost. It has an aftermarket elbow to help it flow more air, and an LS V8 throttle body to help it flow more air. It has bigger fuel injectors, aftermarket fuel rails to support that. It has higher ratio intake exhaust roller rockers in it, and bigger fuel pump down the back, and the intercooler, so to speak, the heat exchanger is just here at the front. That's connected to this reservoir, and then back around the other side is the water lines. And there's a Haltech inside. So that's what makes it all go, and I like it. I think it's perfect. Sick fun. So the next thing is to disconnect these go fast bits. They're not electrical, but they're part of the plumbing. So we'll get rid of these. We're just going to work our way from this side of the engine up and then back down here, obviously. Disconnect everything, and then we can get the engine out. Disconnected the throttle cable. Disconnected these throttle position sensors. And then there's a sneaky hose just under there. That sneaky hose goes to this collector here. So the top one there. So we'll disconnect that. So I've got a few more pieces disconnected. I've got this map sensor disconnected, map sensor, it was there. And then I've disconnected the top of this bottle here, which goes to the throttle body there. And then I've disconnected the throttle body throttle position sensor. I take it, disconnected the throttle cable, disconnected this from the top of the alternator, disconnected that from the bottom of the alternator. And down here in this spaghetti, I found this, which is not connected to anything. I got a feeling that was connected to a light bar, so I've written connected to light bar. So we're getting there. Right, Hilux fans, it's day 3 of pulling stuff off the motor, and there's plenty of cable ties to cut, so I went and bought myself about $100 worth of different scissors, just because, you know, I love spending all of my money. But yeah, bang, that feels good. What have we got done so far today? Day 3, we have undone this bracket which just held the throttle cable to go over there. Yep, that's done. And then we worked out that this can actually separate. So I've labeled each wire separately, because I'm pretty sure that boot will fall off and then they'll go their separate ways, and we won't work out that we have to put them back there. Next, we've got this off. That went to there's an oil filter there. And we just ran out of labels, so I don't want to get confused and mess this up, so I'm going to go to the store now and get some labels. What else we did? Pretty self-explanatory. We took off the power steering fluid pump. That can only go back one way, so I'm not going to label that one. Next, we got to get this reservoir off. I think I need to take that off. I'll double check before I do it. And then we got to get the fuel rails, and I think we've got to pull a few rails off. I'm not sure. I haven't done this before ever. So I just want to get these out, and then maybe I can get these out without pulling off the fuel rails, and then I can just maybe disconnect the fuel line and leave the fuel rails on. That would be a better plan. I like that. And we're getting closer. Right, so this channel should probably be sponsored by these guys, King Chrome, because I'm heavily advocating this King Chrome mechanism. Wow, look at that. Not a problem. And not only are they super duper wicked scissors, but they're also pretty popular, because I did notice at Bunnings that these were under lock and key, whereas the other scissors from Irwin, no one wants to steal them, apparently. Sorry, Irwin. They weren't under lock and key. Alrighty, this is where we're going to leave it tonight. I've got the injectors out and labeled, just in case there's a possibility I could do them backwards up. And I've undone this fuel rail. I had to get this last one out. And it has 2 bolts that go through there into the rocker covers. But yeah, once those 2 bolts are out, you just lift up and pretty much the injectors stay in the holes, except for that one that popped out. I had to push it back down in the hole. Not too technical really. And yeah, next tomorrow, do that side. And we're getting closer to getting this motor out. Day 3. I've entered the catacombs under the car. And whatever this is, it's got a little window there. So I wonder what it is. I wonder what it does. Anyways, I've disconnected it. And on this side, the wires were white and black, so that's a no-brainer. That'll go back together. And then this looks like it goes to the coolant line, and it's coming out of the, I'd imagine, the hot side of the motor. So that's probably where it gets its temperature from. But this little gypsy up here, this little gypsy dog, it's unknown what this does. It could be anything. Could tap into the government, you know? Yeah, that's the government line, that is. This is where it gets confusing, maybe a little bit. This, I think it's a fuel regulator on this fuel rail, has a hose that is connected to the top spot on this, where there's multiple, the top one. Yes, that was the end. So I've labeled that end fuel regulator. So that goes back there. And then obviously disconnected the fuel rail. Not too tricky. Now I'm going to disconnect this fuel rail to get these injector signal cables out from underneath it. I broke something. This little gypsy, just that black thing there. See that black thing? Whatever that is, had a black cap on it. I broke it. So yeah, we'll probably have to fix that. Anyways, now I'm going to disconnect this, whatever this does. I wish I had a manual. I wish I knew a bit more about what I was unplugging. Make me more confident to plug it back together. But we've got to disconnect this, and then got these 2 big ass plugs here, which disconnect, and then this just here should pull this out here. I've got to get back under the engine because there's this sneaky dog here. The sneaky dog goes down there, and what is that connected to? What the fuck is that thing? Oh man. Don't know what it is. It's not connected anymore. What a sneaky dog, eh? If you're watching this and you're laughing, just leave messages in the comments about how much you know about cars. Just be like, at minute 7, my expertness is flexing out here, and I can tell you that that is a doo-wop mechanism. Came out between the years of XYZ, and my grandpappy actually invented the doo-wop, made in a factory in Doo-Wopsville. So yeah, that's what it is, mate. Just let us know. On the alternator, there's a cable. Here it is. It's got 2 wires. Pretty self-explanatory when you look at the alternator. And that goes up in here. And then you've got to remember that that little cheeky little hook there is where there's another one where the cable gets routed. So we'll get those off. There is a sneaky deaky wire. When you're unplugging the alternator, there's a sneaky deaky wire that runs off this. Goes onto the back here, just there. So, how do we get that out? Oh, back out of the car again, and there is a wire that goes to the block from just behind the oil filter there and runs into that front starter cable. So yeah, we're gonna get that one off. All right, awesome. There we go. That's just connected, and it actually was there in the engine mount bracket just there. But what's puzzling me is this. What is that? Because it's got a newish connector on it, I think that it is something to do with the Haltech, and I'm hoping that it's dangling down here, but I'm hoping that that connects to a oxygen sensor from the collector. So we'll go find the collectors and see if they take that sort of, what's that, a 3-prong? Definitely not 4. Yeah, 4. So yeah, I don't know what that plugs into, but it wasn't plugged in. It was not plugged in. Deep in the bowels of my engine. Look, there's the air conditioner pump. Behind there, check this thing out. See those little braille dots there? That's the engine number. And then this guy here, he's fucking stuck there, and he's covering up the top of the dots. So how's a Joe meant to read the engine number, mate? Who's done this to me? You see what God done to me? All right, so that stupid bolt, that's getting the snip. I mean, that stupid thing is going to get cut. Just cut that ground. And now, there we go. Gotta put a label on that. There's this sneaky dog connected to that circle thing. I reckon that's probably got something to do with the orientation of the bloody engine. That's probably an important one. Got to get him out, and he's pretty stuck. Righto, this is day 4, I guess. Had to take the bolts out of this to take it off to get the wires to come out from behind there, and then undo the spark plugs so I could get the wires out from behind the spark plugs, and then I could move them all over to here and undo these tensioners to get the wires to come out the front here. So now, look at that. None of that's holding the motor in anymore. That's all good news. And then up the back here, I'm just doing the final sort of checks on stuff I've forgotten. We got this here. It looks like it comes out the rocker cover, or just behind the rocker cover, and goes to the middle. Got to remember, it goes to the middle setting on this catch can. I'm not sure that it would matter. Maybe it does matter. Who knows? You probably know. Leave a comment. Tell me how much you know. I appreciate it. Welcome back to the channel, LN106 fans. On this episode, we're going to get this L67 motor out of the donor car. So in future episodes, we can stick it into the licensed and running car and then get it engineered so it's all legit. But for legal reasons, we're removing it from this car, which is not going back on the road, And to get it out, gonna put lifting straps around these headers. And I'm gonna remove these so I don't bend them as I do it. Let's take a look at these lifting straps that I got. You know, on this channel, I'm a big fan of spending all of my money. So yes, I rushed out and bought some whiz-bang lifting straps. I got 2 of these. And shackles so fancy that they come in this box. That doesn't mean they're good though. It just probably means I got conned into paying extra for the box, but that's all right. I love spending all of my money. So let's do it. Right, so I just used one of these straps. I want it to be around at least 2 of these headers. 1, 2. Couldn't fit it actually under that one, or I gave up trying. And on this side, same sort of setup. Under number 1, under number 3. That gives us about that much. And if I stand back here, crane plus that much equals motor. I think we'll get it out. Couple of rags, got all the bolts out on that side, 1 bolt left on that side. I'll see if I can do it while filming without disaster happening. Look at this, mum, no hands whatsoever. Probably just scratched the car badly, but it's off. Just push the car back. Now we'll put this under, and we'll see if we're gonna have enough clearance. Look at that! Look at that sunset. Bloody hell, that's nice, eh? I like it when a plan comes together, and that's got to go. You know, it's got to be about that high. It's about a foot. About a footsies, motorsies, chainsies. I reckon that's coming out, Z's. What do you reckon? Do you reckon I'll get it? Or do you reckon I'll have to let the tyres down or something silly like that? All right, this is looking good. It's taking it up perfectly. For me, I'm happy with that. But we can't actually keep going with that because I've got nowhere to put it. I've been trying all day to get this tyre. Not all day, but as long as I can be bothered with it. Try to get this tyre off the rim. I got the first side off, but getting that second side off is bloody a bugger, that is. So I gave up on that before I ran out of daylight. So we can't get it out because I got nowhere to put it. I do have this. You built this the other night. Got this, but you need to know what size bolts to put through these holes, and bolts don't come with it. So once I get it out, or maybe tonight, I'll look on the internet what size bolts go for that engine crane. But tomorrow, I'll just F that tyre off, get rid of it, and pick me up another used tyre so I can take it out, plonk it on the ground temporarily, measure the bolts, find the right bolts to get over there. All right, Hilux fans, it's the next day and we're about to get the motor out of this one. I tried to get this off the rim and gave up. So I've got these. Went down to the tyre store, and the nice man at the tyre store gave me these tyres for free. What a legend. I said I'd give him a good Google review. I don't think he cares, but I'll give him one. Have to remember to do that. So that's where the engine's going to go on that. And we got 1 engine bolt left to do. We'll get that out, and then we'll see if we can jack it up. All right, Hilux fans, check it out. It's 5:30 and the sun's about to piss off. That's not good. Gotta work fast. There's an engine bolt just down there, an engine bolt, an engine mount bolt on that side, and I'm pretty sure that during times of unrational decisions and been on the bones of my arseness. This one down here is already disconnected for some reason. That's the way it is. So I'll get under it and I'll see if I can get that first bolt out. Alright, so I'm under the car and look at that one there. Hasn't even got bolts in it, mate. Bolts just missing as. And then over this side, that one's gone. I think what's happened is I've tried to steal my motor. I've tried to steal it from myself, and I've already done all the bloody plotting. I was going to steal it and I was going to hide it from myself. Yep. Anyways, that's full disconnected and I'm laying underneath it, so it's a bit scary, but yeah, that's where it's at. It's my spacer. Oh! Here we go. There's a few things still tied on, but that's why I bought $100 worth of cable tie cutters, because I like spending all of my money. Right, it's off the grip. It's lifting up, but I can't really see what's going on here. So I think what I'll do is I'll just push the car back. The motor should come forward. What a plan. Got a lot of reviews about my feet in the last video. A lot of feet fans out there. Well, that was sort of to be expected. Back here, there's a couple of hidden surprises. There's this on the back of the elbow, which goes to the vacuum brake booster. So you got to remember that. That's the first one. So we're still playing this game. Label everything Super Elbow, printing out. Resuming the lift. Let's take another look. What? That's where we need snips. Ooh, that's going to be a problem. What's that? Okay, it's coming, but I'm pretty worried that the headers are still down here and we're not going to have enough height. I'll probably have to take the front wheels off or something. Damn, that is full extendor of the crane oar. And check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out. That's not cool. I mean, it's already got small wheels on it. That's a problem. Gonna have to reassess this strappage and put it back down. Bummer. I don't know if it's the done thing to do, but you know, I wasted my money on these whiz bang shackles because I'm not using them anymore. I've gone straight to the hook. And I took a couple of links out of there. I've taken links out of my dirt bike chain and that's pretty sick. So, you know, hopefully this will be faster and sicker than it was before. Let's do it. Will it? Oh yeah, we're just gonna make it. Just gonna make it. Yes, Hilux fans, yes, another chapter complete. Got the motor out, pretty happy. It looks pretty ratty, so for the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be dressing this up.